Hey there. I hope I didn't debate you with the title. This is gonna be more of a education video rather than a toxic video or a complaint video. And it's I've kind of just started to create it because I'm sick of hearing, well, if I paid the rent, then I could service a loan. Um, so let's stop the bullshit. Let's stop complaining or blaming others because we like to do that very quickly. Everyone likes to blame others. All the Australian housing crisis, blah 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 blah. I'm not going to go into that today. I'm going to go into, can you actually buy a house and afford the house? So let's say, for argument's sake, you find a three-bedroom house for 750K, right? Now, let's say you have the holding deposit of 20%, it's 150 grand, you've got that in your savings, right? And then you go out and you buy the house. And you take out a loan of 650K to make up the 750. Now, I'm not going to put into the fact that you're paying stamp duty and other fees and services from your conveyor and other stuff like that, and your accountant and your broker, blah blah blah. Not going to go into those. We're just going to stay at some basic figures here. So let's say right now you're paying 3,800 per month. Okay, so is you think you can afford that? Your salary, right? So let's say you're on a comfortable salary of, I don't know. Let's say you're on 100 grand, right? We divide that down by 12. There we go. So you're on 8.3 per month, right? Yes, you probably could easily afford this. Now, okay, so straight away out of your monthly allowance, you're losing $3,800. You've then got to factor in there is going to be council rates, which will be around 3,400 annually. You've then got to factor in that you probably have to pay for home insurance, which will probably be around 4,000 annually. So now you've, on top of paying 3,800 per month, you're now paying 8,000 annually. So that's 8,000 by 12. So now you're at 4,200 per month technically. So now you're doing 4,200 per month. All right. So let's now say, hey, you obviously have a car to get to work. There's going to be another 1,000 for insurance and registration. So you divide that down. There's another few $100. So your your actual money doesn't go as far as you're thinking it does, right? So in terms of, oh, if I can pay for my rent, I can pay for a loan. No, you can't. You're going to be barely struggling to pay for a home loan. Let's say tomorrow your hot water system dies. Now you have to fork out 2 grand to get a tradie out, look at your hot water system. He quotes you 2 grand to replace it all. Do you have a spare 2 grand? No, you don't. You just bought a house. You're broke. Let's say, um, you know, some other random expense happens. You're not going to be able to afford it. You're broke, right? Let's say you enjoyed going out to dinners, restaurants. You can't do that anymore. You're paying a loan now. You can't. There's no more going out to dinners. There's no more living paycheck to paycheck. You can't do that anymore. You're expected to live within 1 to 2 thirds of your paycheck and save the last 1 third of your paycheck. Are you actually doing that at this point in time? Do you actually save at minimum of 1 third of your paycheck per week or per month? Is that actually happening? So I think when it comes down to, oh, I could service a loan, no, you can't. That's facts. Now, let's say, for argument's sake, COVID 3.0 hits the earth, and next minute your interest rates go from 5% to 7%, which literally just happened. Uh, Personally, I've gone from 3%, 2% interest rates up to 7% interest rates. That was a huge difference. And as you can see already, you've jumped up by over 600 per month. So you're already struggling before, and now a global crisis happens, and now you're really struggling. So when you start to think about, oh, if I can pay my rent, I can service a home loan, just keep in mind that there's a lot more going on than what you actually think.